Right now at noon, new laws go into effect today in Kansas and Missouri. We'll have the details of how it'll affect you.
Plus, we've been cloudy and cold. However, things might change in our favor in the next couple of days. We'll have a look at that forecast coming up.
Plus, the new year brought fresh suffering to Palestinian civilians. The Hamas-run health ministry says nearly 22,000 people have been killed since the war began, and many more are wounded.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on KOAM News at Noon. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. In today's top story, it's 2024, and with the new year comes new laws in Missouri and Kansas. January 1st will mark a decrease to Kansas sales tax on grocery items, a small increase to Missouri's minimum wage, and a few other developments. Here's what you need to know about the upcoming changes. Missouri's minimum wage to rise on January 1st. Missouri's minimum wage is set to rise slightly on Monday, January 1st to $12.30 per hour, up from 2023's minimum wage of $12. In 2018, voters approved gradual increase to Missouri's minimum wage that culminated in the rise to $12 per hour last year. Subsequent increases, the first of which will happen on Monday, are indexed to match changes to the cost of living. Employers with an annual gross income below $500,000 are not required to pay their employees Missouri's minimum wage, but they must still pay the federal minimum wage of $7.25 per hour. And Kansas's sales tax on groceries will drop on January 1st. Kansas is set to cut its state's sales tax on food items in half starting on Monday, reducing them from 4% to 2%. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly's office estimates that the change will save Kansans around $150 million in the coming year.
Yeah, it's been cloudy. It's been cold today. Temperatures staying below normal out there. Earlier today, of course, Skywatch Storm Tracker showing a ton of clouds out there across the area. And same from our camera on the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin this morning. It was breezy. It was cloudy. It was cold. But again, at least the roads have been clear. Yesterday for our New Year's Eve, the last day of 2023, started at 28, so not far off the normal. But we didn't see really any sunshine at all yesterday. So we only made it up to 39, and today is going to be a pretty similar story to yesterday. Temperatures, though, Saturday was a great day, made it in the low 50s, so well above normal, but yeah, they're not complaining by any means because our average is about 45 degrees. However, Sunday was cold. Today is going to be chilly. But then we're going to start to warm up over the course of the next couple of days, which will be great. We're going to actually start to see somewhat normal temperatures. And of course, the weather changes a lot around here, and you can keep up on the latest forecast, hourly information, the 10-day latest radar, severe weather alerts, everything you need right there in the palm of your hand. So whenever you're not around your TV or YouTube or whatever, you can download the KOAM Skywatch weather app and keep the forecast with you wherever you go. But since you are tuned in right now, you're expecting that forecast in a few more minutes. We're going to take a look at that and talk about that warming trend and maybe even some rain chances here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Criminals are using legitimate home listings to scam others, especially when it comes to social media. Factfire wants to warn the public after a Kansas woman lost $1,200 to a person she thought she was renting a home from. It turns out it was a scammer the entire time, and Haley Tucker has the details.
Some people use Facebook to find homes to rent.
We came across this lady on Facebook Marketplace, and she said, yeah, sure, I'll rent you the place.
Joanne Rivera moved to Wichita from Missouri with her boyfriend. They were living in a motel, searching for a place to call home.
Saved for we can have a place, so we can have a place to spend for the holidays.
She found this home on South Mosley listed on Facebook Marketplace. She called the person who listed it, got approved by who they thought was the owner, and paid $1,500 for first month's rent.
We said, okay, well, I need to get the keys and I need the receipts. And she's like, okay, well, I'll meet you at the house and blah, blah, blah. And then that's when we went to the house and we waited there, and I went and I knocked on the door, and Katie opened the door and told me, you know, kind of confusing. She had a confused look on her face like, no, I'm not moving out until Monday.
The owner, who Joanne thought she was talking to, never showed up. Instead, she was greeted by Katie, who was currently renting.
It feels crazy, like it feels like something you'd see on a TV show, a comedy or a drama.
Joanne and her boyfriend slept in their car that night, not knowing it was actually a scammer on Facebook who took their money.
Now she's not returning my calls. She's not giving me my refund back. She's not, nothing. It's like she stopped all contact with us.
Another red flag is the way Joanne paid.
We have PayPal, so we paid her with that, and she told us to send it to her on friends and family.
We called the person Joanne paid.
Can hear you, please? If you can text me.
Well, I'd like to talk to you. So I'm with Channel 12, KWCH. I'm our chief investigative reporter, and I've been working.
Hello, yeah, please call me back. I can't hear you. You can call me back since you want to talk to me.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, no, I can't.
And that's the last we heard from them. All it took was this scammer stealing an ad from a property management group actually listing the home to fake their own and steal money. The Wichita Police Department is now investigating and says this type of scam is one it sees often. If you're looking to rent, make sure you verify the person you're working with really owns the property. Try meeting with them face-to-face before paying them any money. Go through a third party like a bank to pay the person. And never pay someone you don't know through PayPal friends and family, because that money cannot be returned.
And that's a look at today's top stories and weather in the 4 states region. Up next on KOAM News at Noon. The average American has nearly $6,000 in credit card debt. We'll take a look at why so many people get into this type of debt and how you can get out of it. And later, we're making good luck Hoppin' John in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. Stay tuned. During the holiday season, many Americans bought more than they should and put those extra purchases on credit cards. Americans are carrying more than $1 trillion in credit card debt, a new record according to the New York Federal Reserve. Donna Backus looks at why so many people get into this type of debt and how they can get out of it.
Allie and Josh Lupo met in college and both graduated with big student loans. The social workers didn't earn much money, so they turned to credit cards to make ends meet.
We weren't even really living a lavish lifestyle, but kind of just to get by. Credit cards felt like an opportunity for us to kind of have a little more wiggle room.
But the debt quickly piled up.
I think at one point we were just under $10,000, and I think our highest interest rate was 24%.
It's a common story according to Nick Woolney from CNET Money.
The average American having nearly $6,000 in credit card debt, it's something that is actually quite mainstream. It's the most common debt instrument for most American families and most American households.
Woolney recently wrote an investigation on the issue, interviewing several people with credit card debt, many paying record high interest rates.
That's just compounding month after month, and so it's really contributing to that debt spiral over time.
39% of adults say credit card debt is their biggest obstacle to building wealth. The Lupos were among that group until they came up with a plan.
We had never really calculated both how much we owed or how much that debt kind of radically impacted our lives.
They transferred their debt to new credit cards with 18 months at 0% interest. They developed a budget, took on extra jobs, and cut costs.
For us, it was also really identifying needs versus wants.
The couple eventually got out of debt and turned their experience into a personal finance education business called the FI Couple. The FI stands for the goal they achieved, financial independence. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Israel has begun demobilizing some of its army reservists fighting in Gaza in order to give them a break and prepare for the long war ahead. In the war-torn territory, the Hamas-run health ministry says the death toll in Gaza is now close to 22,000 people. Michael George reports from New York.
Sirens ushered in the new year as the clock struck midnight in Israel. Instead of fireworks lighting up the night, a barrage of rockets was launched from Gaza towards Israel. They were intercepted by Israel's Iron Dome missile defense system, causing explosions in the sky. No injuries were reported. Israel's military released footage of its K-9 unit operating in Gaza. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the war against Hamas, which began with a brutal attack on Israel on October 7th, will continue for many more months until Hamas is eliminated and the hostages returned. The new year brought fresh suffering to Palestinian civilians, including children. The Hamas-run health ministry says nearly 22,000 people have been killed since the war began, and many more are wounded. Amid the rubble, Palestinian artist Amal Abu al-Sabah paints murals depicting the terrible toll the war is taking on the besieged territory. She says artists should use difficult circumstances to express everything they feel inside. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Israel's withdrawal of reservists inside Gaza would allow some to return to civilian life and help bolster the country's economy. It would also free up units in case they are needed in the north if the conflict with Hezbollah in Lebanon expands. Still to come on KOAM News at Noon, we see what's cooking with Mr. Food.
Happy New Year! Join us today as we share how to get rid of a hangover and how to make this year a prosperous one.
But first, it's been cloudy and cold today, but better weather is on the horizon. We'll take a look at that forecast when the KOAM News at Noon returns. Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon. We've had a cloudy and cold day across the area. Skywatch Storm Tracker has been showing us these clouds through most of the day, trying to get some clearing out there, but not going to be really enough to help our temperatures at all. So let's take a quick look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. And there's those clouds from this morning. And even though you can't see clouds on all of the Skywatch Storm Tracker, they were all still there through the morning hours, and they're going to hang out with us through at least our Tuesday. But they are going to begin to clear out. But you can see we're not the only ones inundated with the clouds here. Take a look. In fact, they've spread a little further west this morning out into western Kansas and Oklahoma, all the way up through the Great Lakes. They even had winter weather advisories yesterday for some lake effect snow around the Chicago area. So thankfully, nothing like that here. This morning, MoDOT camera I-44 and range lines showing clear roadways, but not so clear skies. Same from our camera on the Cornell Complex in downtown Joplin. It's just been cloudy. And the KDOT camera on 69 just south of Pittsburgh. Again, thankfully clear roadways, which is great. But those skies not so clear out there. But they will eventually get that way. It's just going to take a little more time. So the way I see it is this is 2024's way of saying this is as bad as it's going to get. It's going to be uphill from here. That's what we're going to do. We're going to think positively. Today, though, it is not going to feel so great. Feels like January, though. Mid-30s out there, mostly cloudy skies. Again, could see a few peaks of sunshine here and there, but otherwise really not that much. Our temperatures below normal, as we discussed earlier, should be in the mid-40s. North breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. As we head into tonight, the clouds, though, they have one benefit. As we've mentioned before, they act as that thermal blanket, and so they keep our temperatures from fluctuating a lot. In fact, lows tonight, they're cold, but they're seasonable, and it's still going to be mostly cloudy, and the winds will shift. They'll calm down a bit. We're not expecting gusty winds, but I mean, we'll get relatively calm winds, and then they'll turn around and start coming out of the south at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow, they're out of the southwest at about 5 to 10. Still, mostly cloudy skies is what we're expecting for our Tuesday across the area, but temperatures, again, a little closer to normal as we go into the low 40s, and as we head down the road, there's some good news. We're actually going to get at and even slightly above normal over the next several days. So for our Wednesday, partly cloudy skies, so a bit more sunshine out there, mid-40s again. So if these hold out exactly at, then that means we're right where we should be for this time of year. For Wednesday and Thursday, mostly sunny skies for us on Thursday. Clouds, though, start to return on our Friday, and that's ahead of some slight shower chances as we head into Saturday. But our temperatures, despite all these changes, continue to climb. Now, they don't soar above average, as you can see. We're only talking 4 or 5 degrees above, but we get close to 50 degrees by Saturday, even with those rain chances. But between the rain chances and the cloudy skies, it leads to a very mild Saturday evening out there for us. And we are expecting the sunshine to return for our Sunday. Temperatures remaining mild, though, as they hang out in the upper 40s. Caitlin?
Well, stick around. We're making good luck Hoppin' John in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. It's time to check in with Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. If you want good luck in the new year, Southerners will tell you that you have to eat a bowl of Hoppin' John on the first day of the year. Here's Howard's version of this traditional favorite.
Happy New Year. For those of you who had, well, let's just say, too much of a good time last night and woke up with a bit of a hangover? Let me share a couple of remedies that might make you feel better. First of all, drink lots of water, which will help rehydrate you. And if you add honey and lemon to the water, all the better. You see, the lemon rebalances your body and helps fight queasiness, while the honey, which contains fructose, helps metabolize your blood sugar. Also, eat some burnt toast with no butter, because the last thing your body needs is grease. Plus, the toast may help filter out impurities, similar to that of a carbon water filter. Okay, now that we have that out of the way, for those of you who are looking to make this year a prosperous one, I suggest making a pot of Hoppin' John with stuff you probably have on hand. Legend has it that eating Hoppin' John on New Year's Day will bring you a whole year of prosperity. Whether it does or doesn't, it can't hurt, and it's the perfect fill-you-up meal for this time of year. Between the chunks of smoky ham, all the beans and veggies, and the flavor-packed broth, you can't miss. To get the shortcut recipe for our Good Luck Hoppin' John, all you need to do is check out our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a prosperous way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
To find this recipe, along with many others, just head over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com and click on Mr. Food. Now here's a look at the 4 state market prices.
All right, so again, cloudy and cold today. Still cloudy tomorrow, but a bit closer to normal, low 40s. Average temperatures Wednesday, Thursday, warming up a bit as we head toward the end of the week. Temperatures climbing into the upper 40s to right around 50 degrees. And we're keeping an eye on some much-needed shower chances by Saturday.
And coming up tonight at 5, many people try to cut back on their alcohol consumption after the holidays, but dry January, as it's known, isn't always easy. We'll have some tips on how to succeed and improve your health. Plus, New Year, New Beginnings will take a fitness class where participants look to kick off the new year with a healthy lifestyle. And many take part in a local New Year Day tradition with the Chili 5K. Join us for those stories and more on KOAM News at 5. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at Noon. Have a great rest of your day.